the a-hole for not kicking my best friend out of my wedding after she spilled a drink on my sister-in-law at my wedding. Around 3 months ago, I, 25 female, got married to my husband, 27 male. I've been hearing about this from my in-laws non-stop. My husband has a younger sister, Alice, 22 female, who in my opinion is a total brat. Alice has had some type of childhood sickness, but she overcame it. However, his parents were extremely lenient with her to the point where she cannot be corrected in any form without it being a big deal. She's been let go from multiple jobs because of this, and she doesn't have many friends and always has to be the center of attention. Ooh, I see we're seeing a little bit of a theme in this video. At my other sister-in-law's birthday, their parents got Alice a gift just in case she got jealous. I hate that. Oh God. Like, that makes sense for a child, but it certainly does not make sense for a 22-year-old woman. I also don't think that you should be doing that when your kids are children, like getting them a gift so that they won't get jealous of somebody else. I think that teaches them all the wrong lessons, personally. I am an only child, and the only sisterly figure I have has to be my best friend, Marie. We met in 3rd grade, and since we were both only children, we instantly clicked. We are fiercely protective of each other. Yes, queen, love that for you. All you need is one good friend, babes. That's it. Husband and I had decided to have a summer wedding, and to my surprise, Alice shows up wearing a lacy white dress. Oh. If you told me she picked this out of a wedding catalog, I would have believed you. Between the wedding and the main reception, we had a cocktail hour. People kept asking me about Alice, and I was becoming annoyed. A lot of people thought she was my husband's ex instead of his sister. Weird. I could tell the situation was pissing Marie off, and I watched Marie walk over to my husband's family, greet them, and on her way back, she tripped and fell by Alice while holding a glass full of red wine. Alice ran into the bathroom with mother-in-law following her. Sorry. And his dad came up to us and started to demand that Marie leave. I told them no. I'm sorry, where was the demand to make Alice leave when she showed up in a wedding dress to your wedding? I told them no, Marie is a lightweight and it was a mistake. Husband backed me up and said that since Marie is thin, she can't handle as much alcohol, but we'd make sure she'd sober up before the reception. At the reception, Alice was wearing a beautiful green dress brought to you by Ross. And Marie magically felt better. I love this friendship for you guys. Honestly, if your friend wouldn't spill a drink on someone that showed up in a white dress to your wedding, is she even your friend? My in-laws have been bringing up the incident nonstop, but I have a hard time feeling bad, even though I know it wasn't an accident. I think that your in-laws should have told her to go home. They were just enabling her at that point. That is so disrespectful. She should have been the one to be told to leave the wedding and go and change into something else. Marie, just help that along. I love this for you. I'm not mad about it. If she wouldn't change on her own accord.
We gotta do other things to ensure that happens.
Not the a-hole. Your in-laws created a monster and your friend was just fixing the white dress issue. Everyone knows you don't wear white to a wedding. Clearly they had a backup dress, so what's the problem? OP responds, they didn't have a backup dress, but there were outlet shops close to the venue and mother-in-law and sister-in-law got a last-minute dress at Ross. Good. No biggie. Honestly, they're lucky you didn't kick Alice out at the very start. Yeah, the fact that you're just still letting her be there, she should have left. To me, that's like incredibly disrespectful. Maybe Marie also could have pulled her aside and told her to change instead of ruining the dress. But I mean, why show respect to someone who doesn't show respect to you, you know? Once you show me disrespect, it goes out the window. Why haven't you suggested to them that Alice was an a-hole for wearing white? Stop putting up with their behavior. Marie is a legend and needs a medal. Get her a trophy. Best friend award. It's a very touchy subject. Anyone has ever told them anything about Alice, it's always met with, she had it rough during her childhood disease. But she's not sick anymore, right? It's not my place to tell them how to parent their daughter. But it was your wedding, babes. My husband and my other sister-in-law have given up saying anything about it because it's always been met with dismissiveness, even when they were kids. Now, as adults, they've distanced themselves from their parents, and the in-laws are either blind or acting blind as to why. They ruin any chance of Alice having normality because she's treated like a fragile doll. I mean, I get that to a certain extent, but that's not your problem because it's your wedding, babes. You are not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for telling my boyfriend not to be his best friend's best man in his wedding? Why'd you do that? What's that about? I, 26 female, have been with my boyfriend, 27 male, for 2 years. We recently found out that we're expecting a baby and we're both excited about it. He's got a best friend, 27 male, that got engaged to his fiance, 24 female, over the summer. And they're planning on getting married in May. He asked my boyfriend to be the best man. They've known each other since childhood.
And the buddies for life.
Now here is the conflict. The fiance and I had a falling out last year. We used to be really close, but she pulled a complete 180 on me and went behind my back. When I confronted her about it back then, she looked completely confused and asked what she did and how she can fix it. I wanted to believe her, but I felt that she should have known already why I was mad at her. Okay. So your beef is with the fiance and not with your boyfriend's best friend? So why are you telling telling him not to be his best friend's best man?
Because she's crazy.
My boyfriend is still close to both his best friend and the fiance to this day since he's known them before dating me. He mentioned that he could bring me to the wedding in case something happens with my pregnancy. I told him I wasn't going to sit through and watch someone who betrayed me celebrate love. Well, I mean, that's your choice, babes, but like, don't force it on him. My boyfriend understood that, but he told me that being best man was very important to him. I lost it and told him that if I'm not going to the wedding, then he shouldn't be his best man and should prioritize me and the baby. He dropped the conversation after that. No, babes, no. I get that you've had a falling out with the fiance, but why are we needing to punish your boyfriend's best friend over a falling out with somebody else? That doesn't seem fair to me. I would also suggest trying to smooth things over with the fiance instead of just like forcing your boyfriend to do this thing that's gonna end a friendship that was there since childhood. It seems to me, based on the way that you described it, that she was very confused about what she did. She didn't know what she did in the first place, and she tried to fix it. She asked you what she can do to make it better. So that to me kind of sounds like maybe she just really wasn't aware of what she did. Have you talked about it with her? I think it's in everyone's best interest that you talk to this fiance and like figure it out. I told some of my friends this, and they said though the pregnancy is important for him to be attentive to, I should move on from the drama. I agree with them. And let him be there for his best friend's big day. Like, I want to know what the drama is in the first place. You haven't really said anything about that. Like, it really kind of depends on like what happened. And you've chosen not to divulge that information. I still stand firm because it'd be awkward with his fiance if I went and his best friend can find someone else to be his best man. Am I the a-hole? I mean, you're kind of being a bit unreasonable here. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it is entirely your choice to not go to the wedding if you don't want to, but you shouldn't be telling your boyfriend that he can't be there for his best friend. Edit, since I forgot to add this, people came to me and said that the fiance talked behind my back about something very personal to me at a bonfire last year. When I confronted her about it, she looked at me like I had no idea what I was talking about. Okay. Like, do we have proof of this? Maybe she did, but I still think that this is something that maybe you could just smooth over just to make it okay for everybody else. It's one day, all right? It's one day, one wedding. I personally think that you guys can talk about it and find some sort of common ground. You can tell her that she upset you. You can give her the opportunity to apologize. And if she doesn't, you know where you stand. You're the a-hole. Wait a second. You claim the two of you had a falling out, but also say she has no idea why you're even angry at her and you refuse to tell her what she did. You can sit at home pregnant and pissy, but you have no right to tell your boyfriend he can't be the best man in his best friend's wedding. I agree. Sorry to say. You have the right to attend or not attend if you want. Use the pregnancy as an excuse. I don't know. Say you're not feeling well or something. But like, don't force your boyfriend to ruin a childhood friendship because you don't like something that the fiance may or may not have done. Interesting that she left out how pregnant she will be then too. 35 weeks. I totally get it. Less than that. Why would you need someone to sit at home with you unless there is an issue? And even then, I was 2 months on bread breast. I was 2 months on bread breast with my second. My mother-in-law was also in the ICU for most of that time. He would visit her twice a day apart from working. I managed. That's a good point. That's a very good point. I mean, she did say recently that she found out she's pregnant and the wedding is in May, so she'd be around 7 to 8 months pregnant at the time of the wedding. I mean, she doesn't know how she's gonna feel at that point. She might be well enough, but you can still kind of use it as an excuse to not go. I think she's still the a-hole for the record. She didn't communicate with the fiance, and I hate making my personal issues with someone else's issue. This is the thing, like, if you're upset with someone, you really gotta be like communicating with that person why you're upset. I just feel like they don't have the opportunity to make it right, and you're not giving them that opportunity. You're just staying mad and you're choosing to not communicate, which is kind of immature. Someone can absolutely have a healthy relationship with someone I don't get on with. Their relationship has zero to do with me. This wasn't a deal-breaking situation as far as she's describing. That's how I feel. She didn't really necessarily do anything like cheat or steal. She just maybe talked a little shit or something. We can't even prove it. We don't even know for sure because there has been no communication. Discuss personal information means what exactly? Did she give all the details of something private, or did she mention it in passing without any specifics? OP has been having a rough time. I am just so confused as to why you're not sharing more about the issue that you have with the fiance. Like, I don't understand why you're keeping this a secret. This isn't even like your real account. It's your throwaway account. How come you're not divulging all the information that we need in order to tell you if you're an a-hole or not? Also, Opie said, people came to me and said that the fiance talked behind my back about something very personal to me at a bonfire last year. How can you trust that secondhand information? This all sounds so juvenile. Yeah, like, how do you know for sure? And why? Because you haven't communicated. All right, guys, Reddit made a clear ruling, and for the most part, I think I agree with it. I wish I had more information, but for now, based on what you've shared, right. You're the a-hole. Stay home from the wedding if you want. That's your prerogative. You do whatever the hell you please, baby girl, but don't make your boyfriend do the same thing. That's kind of dumb. Am I the a-hole for asking my ex-wife to stop making my kids jealous and flaunting? Shush!
What is wrong with her?
So, I've, male 38, been divorced from my ex-wife, female 35, after 10 years. And we have 2 kids together, male 12 and male 10. I remarried a year late while she's still single. I have 3 further kids, female 9, female 7, and female 3.
That's enough though, right?
I have my sons over every weekend. About 4 years, my ex-wife opened up an online business and she's been making 6 figures. While my wife is a stay-at-home mom and I make $30K to support our family. So you can imagine how this difference has affected our 2 households. They live in a gated community. She drives a 2022 RSQ3 and she and her sons go on 2 extravagant holidays a year. But that's her money, so she can spend it how she wants. And it's also a good thing that she's spending it on your kids together too. My sons came over this weekend and started telling me and the girls that they're going on a Disney concierge cruise in the summer. My daughter has started crying saying, "Daddy, we want to go." And when I looked online for the prices, they're priced at $5,000 a person. Okay, yeah, I could see how that's a difficult thing to explain to your children why they can't go.
Because we're poor?
But it's also not your ex-wife's fault that she's earning money, that she started a business and she earned money. It's been all they've been talking about non-stop. I feel like their wealth is being shoved down our throats when we can barely afford heating this Christmas. Listen, this is a really stupid take, okay? I feel like we throw around this idea of people like flaunting their wealth when they're literally just living their lives. She's not necessarily flaunting her wealth. She's spending the money that she's making on your children. She's trying to give them a good life. I sympathize with the fact that you guys can barely afford heating this Christmas, but that isn't your wife's fault. It's not your fault either, but you can't blame it on other people. It's hard to not be hateful, but I've sent her a long text saying, "Stop trying to make us feel less than." I don't think that she's trying to make you feel less than. I think that she's just trying to give your kids, the ones you have together, a good life and great opportunities. Just because someone exists and they have more money does not mean that they're trying to shove it in anyone's faces. It sounds like you're just a bit resentful of her. I also told my sons in private, please don't mention holidays or gifts around the girls. I think that that is a better way to go about this than to tell your ex-wife that she's shoving it down your throats. Kids won't necessarily understand why, you know, the stepchildren or the half-siblings get something that they don't. She replied with saying it's not her problem how we feel and when she does nice things for the boys. I agree with her. Me and my wife are the last people on her mind. Am I reading into this too much or am I the a-hole for saying that she's spiteful? I think that you're kind of spiteful, honestly. Like, how would you feel if she was making all this money and not spending it on your children that you have together? You would call her stingy or cheap. You're not entitled to her money and you're not entitled to tell her that she can't spend it how she likes on your children. You're the a-hole. She's doing nothing wrong. Me and my wife are the last people on her mind. Of course you are. What else would you expect? She's not considering your feelings when she buys a cruise for your kids to go and have fun over the summer. She's good to her kids. Good parenting. You are of no concern to her except that you are a parent to her kids. Or am I the a-hole for saying she's spiteful? Yes, you are. You are. Like, leave her alone. Holy mother of projection, Batman! Your ex-wife is doing well for herself and wants to treat her children well. And you aren't a part of the equation here. Stop being spiteful yourself and be better for your kids. You're the a-hole.